So I'm Rebecca Rahmani. I'm the CEO of Gangly Sister, and I'm here with Rose. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Rose. I'm from California originally, lived in New York, and I started a company called Screenhits about a year and a half ago.
Great. So you've worked in big companies and you've done a couple of startups. So
I have actually, my father once told me if you're going to actually start your own business, the best thing that you could do is go work for people that you admire. Learn as much as you can, find a problem in the industry you want to work in, and then try to solve it.
how did you just move to a new place and manage to get all those business connections, especially because when you were in the video production and you were living in the heart of where that happens, and now, oh, well, I'm in London. It's not known, it's not Bollywood, it's just London, right?
Yeah.
How'd you find the business people to connect to?
But when I came here, I remember like day one, I went to my apartment and I was like, I can't believe I just did this. Day two, I went to my office space in Devonshire Square and I said, okay, let me get this going. And I started just going to different events, like City Meets Tech. I started going to digital shortage events. Just started meeting with people from law firms to accounting firms that said, oh, you must meet our client, you must do this. And I called up all my contacts in the US and said, can you introduce me to people? And within like the first, I think, 30, 40 days, we already had like interested angels. We had partners from Hollywood Reporter to E1 coming on board. And so it was great. I think my background's in sales, so I just kind of made my lead list and turned my leads into prospects and clients. So,
Okay. What's an example of something you failed at?
figure skating, actually. This is not in business, but this is, I loved figure skating. I did it when I was younger, and then I quit when I was in my mid-20s. I loved it more than anything. Wanted to go to the Olympics. And I believed at that time, if I want to do it bad enough and I put in every effort, it will happen. And I was on the ice at 5 in the morning. I skated 10 days in a row, took a break. I had all the lessons. I worked so hard. I was mentally focused. And it didn't work in the end. I didn't win the nationals. I didn't go to the Olympics after all these years of doing it and all the money that was invested in it and all the harm I did to my body. But it's the very thing that shaped me, I think. And so I don't really look at it as a failure. I look at it as like the most amazing experience in my life. But I remember I thought, wow, if I give everything to something and I work so hard and all this money and it doesn't happen, I just don't understand how life works. But it actually, all those things, I guess it was never really meant for me, but all those lessons that I had and that perseverance that I had, falling down and getting up, like literally, has actually helped me when I got the right project and the right idea to build something crazy amazing.
What's something that you've tried and you would advise people not to try that?
One is that once you get your first round of funding, you just really get excited and you want to get everything set up. You want to hire people. You want to get the office. You just do all these things and you actually don't stop to think, wait a minute. Why don't I just keep things very simple, very small, and continue to grow organically versus just setting up a company overnight because you have all this funding? I think that was probably the biggest mistake. I think the most important thing is just to go out there and try to find a way to start selling your product and get money coming in that way. Yeah.
It's amazing because it's not, you came here with no contacts, and do you have any background in cloud computing or marketplaces or anything like that, because that's what you do?
Yeah, no, actually. My experience is actually on the buying and selling side. When we started doing this, I said, great, you deal with technology, I will deal with getting the content and the business and the money. But then when he wasn't doing the technology, I found myself with all these content providers and clients and nowhere to put them because he wasn't at the same speed as I was. And so I had to all of a sudden educate myself in technology and learn about cloud and learn about like CDNs and learn about streaming and all these technology things. But yeah,
So really, what is that thing that you need to start a startup? Because you don't need connections, you don't need to understand the technology, apparently. What do you need?
I think you have to have passion. I think that you have to, a lot of people, I think, which I think is sad, just say, I want to have a startup, and I want to exit, and I want to, make a lot of money. And I think that it works for some people, but I don't think it works for the majority of people. I don't think that's the way to start a business and to dedicate your life to something, which, believe me, the first 3 years are very painful if you don't believe in it and you don't love it. And I think as long as you are in an industry that you know very well, and you've seen problems in that industry and you have found a solution, and you're passionate about it, that is all you need.
What if you had an extra hour today? What would you do with it?
I would probably sleep. So, I mean, I know that somebody might say, oh, I would really like go in and do this database thing. No, I think that, to be honest, I don't want to have a mental breakdown. I don't want to become stressed. And there's so much stuff to do when you have a startup. So you can never do it all in a day. And I think that it's really important to just stop and just take a breath and just relax.